One simple birthday video turned French Montana's life into a scandal, and the internet swears it hides something shocking. Imagine a birthday song was all it took to tie French Montana to Diddy's biggest controversy. Do you think French Montana was just a friend, or part of Diddy's darkest secrets? Diddy in a robe, French Montana shirtless. A birthday video that looked normal, but the internet turned it into a scandal. Why is French Montana's name echoing in Diddy's scandal? A single viral video changed everything. Good morning, buddy. How you feeling today? Ramadan's wrapped up, the nights are alive again, and we're here, ready to make something happen. What's crazy is how quickly stories spin out of control once they hit the internet. One moment, someone's just living their life, and the next, rumors are flying in every direction. And the wild part? Even when people face criticism head-on, it rarely stops the public from digging deeper. Back in the late 2010s, things got especially intense. For some, those years were a blur of wild nights in LA, parties that never seemed to end. But as time went on, the internet started pulling old memories and turning them into something new. Take French Montana, for example. His name keeps popping up whenever Diddy's controversies are discussed. After Diddy's arrest, old videos resurfaced, clips of birthdays, parties, and private gatherings. Fans watched closely, pointing out little details: who was wearing what, who looked tired, who said which words. To outsiders, it might have looked like normal friendship, but online, every frame became evidence for a larger story. This is how the internet works in the age of viral culture. Small, ordinary moments, a casual dinner, a birthday greeting, a business partnership, can be pulled apart, slowed down, and examined as if they hold the key to some hidden truth. When celebrities are under fire, the microscope only sharpens. Suddenly, nothing feels innocent. Every smile looks suspicious. Every gesture feels staged. In French Montana's case, his long association with Diddy has put him in the hot seat. Over the years, French has publicly praised Diddy as a mentor and a big brother figure in the industry. Their friendship seemed genuine. Collaborations in music, public appearances together, even shared business ventures like French's Ciroc flavor launch. At the time, it looked like a smart career move. Partnering with one of the biggest names in hip-hop gave French credibility, visibility, and money. But now, with Diddy's reputation being torn apart in headlines, the internet is reinterpreting all of those same moments through a darker lens. Take one particular video that went viral. In it, Diddy is seen wishing French Montana a happy birthday. Nothing unusual, right? But the setting, a private villa, Diddy in a robe, French shirtless at the dinner table, became fodder for endless speculation. Why were they dressed like that? Why did Diddy call it a special day for both of us? Fans latched onto those details, spinning them into theories that went far beyond a simple birthday celebration. This is where public perception gets tricky. On one hand, people can argue that the internet is just being messy, blowing things out of proportion for clicks, laughs, and gossip. On the other hand, when someone as controversial as Diddy is involved, fans feel justified in connecting the dots, even if those dots were never meant to form a picture in the first place. The speculation only grew louder when comedians and entertainers like Katt Williams chimed in. Known for his sharp tongue and unfiltered commentary, Katt has made a career out of exposing what he calls Hollywood secrets. Every time he mentions Diddy, people listen. And when he drags French Montana into the conversation, the audience can't help but raise an eyebrow. Whether or not his claims have substance almost doesn't matter. The performance itself fuels the rumor mill. But here's the reality: French Montana had options. Back when he was negotiating his record deal, he wasn't limited to Diddy's Bad Boy label. Reports suggest that Kanye West, Roc Nation, and even Rick Ross's MMG were interested in signing him. In fact, French himself admitted that Ross pushed him toward a joint deal with Diddy because Ross couldn't provide the upfront money French wanted at the time. Ultimately, it was about the bag. French secured around $2 million through the Bad Boy/MMG partnership, and that deal helped propel him into the mainstream. From a business standpoint, it made sense. Yet, in hindsight, fans question why he chose Diddy over the other options. Was it simply money? Or was there more to the decision? That's where speculation fills in the blanks. When people don't have clear answers, they create their own narratives, and those narratives can stick. Fast forward to today, and French Montana is in the headlines again, this time for his engagement to Sheikha Mara, a Dubai princess from a family reportedly worth billions. To some, it's a fairy tale romance. To others, the timing looks suspicious, almost too convenient. With legal pressure mounting around Diddy, the internet has spun the engagement into a possible escape plan, a way for French to distance himself from US controversies while securing protection abroad. Now, let's be clear. There's no concrete evidence that French Montana's engagement has anything to do with Diddy's legal troubles. But once again, perception is everything. The combination of luxury, power, and timing is enough for fans to weave a narrative, regardless of the facts. And once that narrative catches fire on social media, it spreads faster than any press release or denial ever could. This entire saga raises bigger questions about fame and accountability in the digital age. Are celebrities guilty by association? Should every friendship, business deal, or casual moment be treated as a clue in some larger scandal? Or is the public simply addicted to drama, eager to turn private lives into entertainment? For French Montana, the situation is complicated. His career has always thrived on big collaborations, high-profile friendships, and a lifestyle that keeps him in the spotlight. But that same visibility is what keeps him tied to Diddy's storm. Whether he likes it or not, every old photo, every clip, and every public appearance with Diddy will continue to resurface and be scrutinized. What happens next remains to be seen. Maybe French's engagement will shift the narrative, painting him as a man entering a new chapter in life. Or maybe it will only intensify the theories, making people question whether he's running toward love or running away from scandal. Either way, one thing is certain. In 2024, no celebrity moment exists in isolation. Every video, every photo, and every rumor is fuel for the internet fire. And once the crowd starts connecting dots, even the most innocent friendship can be turned into a headline-grabbing story. Comedians like Katt Williams added fuel to the fire, calling out not just Diddy, but anyone who stayed in his circle. Suddenly, every handshake, hug, or collaboration was being dissected as if it held some secret meaning. A birthday video went especially viral. Diddy sang "Happy Birthday" to French Montana in a private setting, one wearing a robe, the other shirtless. That alone set the internet ablaze. Why a robe? Why no shirt? Why call it a special day for both of us? These little details became massive talking points. To someone who isn't plugged into the world of celebrity culture, it may have looked like nothing more than two friends enjoying a moment. A casual birthday song, a laugh, a simple celebration. But once the clip hit social media, it became something else entirely. Screenshots were cropped. Tweets turned into threads. YouTubers slowed the video down frame by frame, analyzing the expressions on their faces as if decoding a mystery. Suddenly, what was once just a birthday greeting was now treated like a puzzle piece in a bigger, darker story. This is the power of context, or more accurately, the power of recontextualization. If Diddy hadn't already been facing heavy allegations and years of rumors about his lifestyle, that birthday video likely would have been forgotten in days. But because he was already under a cloud of controversy, the video was recast as proof, or at least as evidence, of something more. And French Montana? His role in the clip made him a target by association. Fans and bloggers weren't just asking why Diddy said what he said, they were asking what French's silence meant. Why did he look tired? Why didn't he laugh off the comment? Was his body language nervous, or was it normal? In the court of public opinion, silence is often read as guilt, and body language becomes testimony. What's fascinating is how audiences bring their own assumptions to these moments. To some, the robe and the shirtless dinner were harmless quirks, wealthy men relaxing in luxury, behaving informally because they could. To others, the same details screamed secrecy and impropriety. It's a reminder that once something is public, interpretation belongs not to the people in the video, but to the millions watching it. And this wasn't just a random fan theory. The video picked up traction because comedians like Katt Williams and gossip bloggers gave it oxygen. Katt, who has spent years accusing Hollywood elites of hiding skeletons, used the clip as yet another example of the blurred lines in celebrity culture. For him, it wasn't just a birthday moment, it was part of a pattern. And once a comedian frames something in that way, the audience often takes it less as a joke and more as a revelation. This also speaks to how easily personal branding can be hijacked. French Montana built his image around music, collaborations, and flashy lifestyle moments. But in this instance, his image was rebranded by the internet. Instead of being the artist with hits like Unforgettable, he was being discussed as the guy in Diddy's birthday video. That's how quickly narratives shift in the age of viral content. The bigger lesson here is how much we project onto celebrities. When Diddy sang, "This is a special day for both of us," he might have meant something as simple as friendship, gratitude, or shared history in the music business. But fans weren't hearing it that way. The phrase became a meme, a slogan, a hint towards something more scandalous. Words that were likely casual in the moment became loaded with meaning after the fact. What makes all this even more intriguing is the timing. The video resurfaced just after Diddy's arrest, when the public was hungry for more details, more receipts, more tea. That hunger turned the smallest interactions into stories. The fact that Diddy was in a robe suddenly wasn't just about comfort, it was a symbol. The fact that French was shirtless wasn't just about being casual, it became a clue. The human mind naturally looks for patterns, and once controversy is in the air, people connect dots whether or not the dots belong together. In many ways, this cycle says as much about us as it does about celebrities. Why are we so eager to believe the worst? Why does a casual video become front-page gossip? Part of it is entertainment value, people love drama. But another part is distrust. Over time, the public has seen too many cases where powerful figures seemed untouchable until, eventually, they weren't. That history conditions us to treat every clip like a breadcrumb leading to some bigger truth. For French Montana, the challenge now is managing perception. He's not the first celebrity to get caught in the splash zone of someone else's scandal, and he won't be the last. The reality is, friendships, partnerships, and collaborations often drag people into narratives they didn't sign up for. Whether fair or not, that birthday video tied French to Diddy's controversies in a way that simple press statements or denials may never fully undo. So, was it just a harmless birthday greeting, or was it something more? The truth may be simple, but in today's media landscape, the simple truth rarely stands on its own. Once the internet decides a moment has hidden meaning, it becomes nearly impossible to unsee. A robe, a shirtless dinner, and a phrase like "special day for both of us" are no longer innocent details. They're symbols in a larger drama, endlessly debated, endlessly reinterpreted. In the end, the birthday video reminds us that in the digital era, context is everything. And when context shifts, so does meaning. For Diddy, the clip fed existing narratives. For French Montana, it complicated his image. For the public, it became entertainment, gossip, and speculation all rolled into one. And as long as the video continues to circulate, so will the theories, because on the internet, nothing ever stays just a birthday song. And when brands got involved, like French launching his own Ciroc flavor, people connected the dots in their own way. What looked like a simple business deal to some became proof of something deeper to others. Photos, clips, and even old interviews were dragged back into the spotlight. Each one was reinterpreted through the lens of scandal. The same thing happened when producers and artists from years ago began sharing stories, saying they had once warned everyone about Diddy's behavior. Suddenly, their voices seemed louder because the internet was ready to believe. Here's the lesson in all this. In the age of social media, nothing stays buried. A single clip, a throwaway comment, or a blurry photo can resurface years later, and once the crowd gets a hold of it, the narrative takes on a life of its own. Sometimes it's truth. Sometimes it's exaggeration. But either way, it shapes how the public sees celebrities forever. Katt Williams has never been the type to bite his tongue. In fact, his reputation is built on saying the things most people in Hollywood only whisper about. Over the years, he's roasted actors, producers, comedians, and music moguls, pulling back the curtain on what he calls the Hollywood games. And lately, French Montana has found himself at the center of Katt's fiery monologues. During one of his stand-up tirades, Katt joked about how he walked away from massive opportunities. Not small checks, he was talking tens of millions of dollars. But according to him, the price wasn't worth it. The money, as he explained it, came with strings attached. And those strings meant compromising his integrity, playing into systems he wanted no part of. For Katt, protecting his character and soul was worth more than the fattest paycheck in the world. When he brought up French Montana, it wasn't in a flattering way. Katt used him as an example of someone who, in his eyes, leaned into the Hollywood lifestyle, the same games Katt always warns about. He painted French as one of those figures who climbed fast in the industry, but not without help from powerful gatekeepers. And in Katt's version of events, that help often comes with a price tag that isn't measured in money. Now, whether you believe Katt's commentary or not, one thing is clear: his words carry weight. Whenever he names names, the internet listens. Clips of his rants hit YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok within hours, sparking debates among fans. Some say he's brave for exposing what others won't. Others think he leans too far into conspiracy. Either way, he has mastered the art of making people question the glossy surface of fame. French Montana, for his part, hasn't publicly gone toe-to-toe with Katt. That silence, however, hasn't stopped the speculation. In fact, it fuels it. Audiences often assume that if someone doesn't respond, they must have something to hide. And in French's case, the chatter tends to circle back to his long-standing friendship with Diddy, a connection that has only become more controversial in recent years. This isn't new for Katt. He has a history of linking Hollywood success with hidden costs. Years ago, he claimed that many celebrities were forced into situations they didn't want, pressured by executives who held all the power. According to him, those who resist either get blackballed or painted as difficult. He positions himself as proof of that, someone who refused to play along and, as a result, has had a roller coaster career filled with both triumph and struggle. Keep naming names keeps him both relevant and polarizing. For French Montana, the challenge is different. His silence might be strategic. Why give Katt's words more oxygen? But in the world of social media, silence often speaks louder than rebuttals. Fans read into every pause, every unspoken denial, and every choice not to engage. The longer he avoids the conversation, the more people assume there's something real behind Katt's accusations. In the end, this back and forth isn't really about just one rapper or one comedian. It's about the ongoing tension between those who play Hollywood's game and those who claim to resist it. Katt Williams has made himself the loud, unapologetic critic. French Montana has become one of the latest examples in his storytelling. And the audience? They're left trying to figure out where the line between comedy, truth, and rumor really lies. One thing is certain, when Katt Williams talks, people listen. And as long as he keeps pulling celebrities into his crosshairs, names like French Montana will keep trending, whether they want the attention or not. That comment got people talking because French Montana has long been tied to Diddy, a man at the center of non-stop controversy. For years, Diddy's reputation has been weighed down by whispers of wild parties, questionable deals, and endless drama. And for fans, it raised one big question. Why did French choose to align himself with Diddy when he reportedly had offers from other giants in the industry? French himself once explained that while labels like Roc Nation and Kanye's camp were interested, it was Diddy and Rick Ross who came through with the money and the opportunity. He ended up signing with Bad Boy/MMG in a joint deal worth a reported $2 million. At the time, it seemed like a major win. But now, with all the headlines circling Diddy, fans are revisiting that decision with a much more skeptical eye. And here's where the story gets messier. French recently got engaged to Princess Sheikha Mara of Dubai, whose family is said to be worth billions. The timing made social media light up with speculation. Some people are convinced the engagement is about love, while others are whispering that it's about power, protection, and securing a new life far from US controversy. The internet doesn't need much to run with a theory, and once the pictures from Paris Fashion Week dropped, it was off to the races. Some saw it as a fairy tale romance, others as a strategic move. Either way, French now finds himself at the center of two very different conversations, one about his music and career, the other about whether his personal life is tied to the scandals surrounding Diddy. And with comedians, bloggers, and fans all weighing in, the drama only grows. Some people see Katt Williams as a truth-teller collecting receipts. Others think he's stirring the pot. But no matter where you stand, one thing is clear. In 2024, every secret, every rumor, and every shady detail seems destined to come to light. So the real question is this: did French Montana simply make a smart business decision, or is there something deeper to the story? And is his Dubai engagement a fairy tale ending or a calculated escape?